Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Very happy to have you still here at the end of this day with all kinds of super interesting sessions about advertising and innovations and what this means for all the TV channels and what's happening. In this very session, we have three speakers who are going to talk to us about TV advertising going beyond linear broadcast, digital ads for OTT players. And the topics we will discuss are ad breaks on online live streaming and on-demand content, about ad sales strategy, pricing, ad insertion, lots of different topics. Let me first introduce our three speakers. Top to bottom, Kai de Smet. You are the product owner of digital advertising and inventory generation. What a title! It's a long title. At RTL the Netherlands. Can you briefly describe what you do? What's your work?
Yeah, thank you, Monique. Happy to be here. Well, what I'm doing all day is actually I'm responsible for the digital ad stack of RTL Ad Alliance. So I'm here actually with a bit of two caps on. Ad Alliance is the sales house of RTL Netherlands, of course, for the people who don't know that. But what we are doing is a different kind of project, but we try to work closely together with the business to make it a really consumer-centric advertising model. Front end related, but also back end. So trying to make the whole ecosystem work for the business and for the consumer.
And Ad Alliance doesn't exist solely in the Netherlands. Also in Germany, it's a international effort. But in the Netherlands, you also you sell the ad inventory for RTL, the broadcaster, also very active online. But you also, with Videoland and on demand and so forth. But you also sell for Disney or even the video inventory of DPG, which is a publisher. So you're
exactly.
giving services to other organizations as well.
Yeah. Thanks to add that indeed. So Ad Alliance is the sales house, and we are representing a lot of publishers here: Walt Disney, Discovery, Viacom, DPG, and RTL, of course, as the main flagship.
Yeah. And RTL basically builds its own world there, right? You have your own databases. You have exactly. Okay,
Correct.
we'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Pascal Biro, you're the vice president of sales for Viaccess Orca, a company that has a TV platform for OTT, but you also do content protection, targeted ads, privacy. Can you tell me a little bit more about Viaccess Orca?
Sure. So, hi everybody, Pascal Biro, in charge of sales for Europe, Middle East, and Africa at Viaccess Orca, which I joined a couple years ago. So, just like you mentioned, Viaccess Orca is a tech vendor, basically, end-to-end SI for the pay TV industry. Historically, one of the key leaders of content protection in the early days, but evolved into service delivery platforms and data solutions. And here, of course, we're gathered to talk about more in details about targeted advertising, which is one of our end-to-end offering as well.
Yeah, because I read that you actually Viaccess Orca is also in 3D printing, which seems to be a completely separate branch, right? It's a combination of different companies.
Indeed, it's a separate branch. Let's put it this way. Yes.
Okay, but when we talk about advertising, what exactly are the services connected to advertising that you offer?
Well, it's an end-to-end approach to it. So, I mean, advertising in the digital space, it needs to bring together the advertisers, obviously, the broadcasters, the service providers, and the viewers, and so we sit in the middle, providing all the infrastructure, the interfaces to the ad servers, the inventory management, the segmentation, the data that will serve, the content providers and the broadcasters, and of course the way to consume the ads. So the video player, the UI, the UX, how to optimize the rendering of the ads in different formats, banners, overlays, UI, insertions into the live stream, into the voice stream. So it's a holistic approach of the whole experience, and how it's basically how to monetize for all the actors of the ecosystem the ads in the TV space.
So where broadcaster or publisher would could build its own tech stack, working with all kinds of different suppliers, they could also come to you and you would help them go to the whole line, or they could just pick one or two products and use those as well.
That's correct.
All
That's
right.
correct.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a sales house. We have solutions services provider. Peter, you are a broadcaster, and
Yeah.
get it here. You are the digital director of TV2 Hungary. What is TV2 Hungary doing? And I'm always convinced that smaller countries like the Netherlands and Hungary, that's where actual innovation happens. So what are you up to as a broadcaster?
As a broadcaster, first, to share a few sentences about TV2. We have 14 channels on the Hungarian market. So at the moment, we have the biggest portfolio in the country. And like a year ago, TV2 acquired Planet TV in Slovenia. So now we have 3 channels in Slovenia as well, and we are looking for other opportunities within the region. So let's see if we will succeed or not. Like 2 years ago, the company decided to focus on the digital and online market as well. Of course, we would like to have a part of the increasing revenue generated by this market. And so basically that's what I'm doing. We launched a new VOD platform, web, mobile app. Now we are working on developing TV application for the operators. So we are not developing for our own, let's say not, it won't be visible on the Samsung TV or something, but the big screen will be dedicated for the operators. So there is the technical part I'm working on, and I'm also responsible for the content management. So when it comes to advertisement, I'm mainly responsible to deliver the needed ad view inventory for our sales house.
Yeah, and you have a TV to play, a streaming advertising supported VOD platform, an AVOD platform.
Yeah, it's an
running.
AVOD platform at the moment, but we are considering an SVOD model. Of course, it's really, really hard because of the big players. So it's a quite tough project, but it's on our list to come up with some ideas for an SVOD model.
But as a broadcaster, you also see yourself as a partner or even a supplier to some operators, basically white label TV platforms, right? That you can help them with and serve up.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Okay, so we understand who we have here. And I'm telling the audience again, if you have questions, put them in the chat and I'll pick them up as well. Now, the first question is basically the question that is the title of this panel. And that's the advertising landscape is changing very fast. Now, when you have change, you have the existing models that will try to keep as they were. And you have the new models that sometimes improve and make the world bigger and better, but also can, infringe on the previous models. If you look at this now, the speed at which digital ads are replacing linear ads, what do you think? How do you see this world changing? And maybe Alex, maybe you can go. Sorry, Peter, maybe you can go first. What do you see changing in Hungary?
In Hungary, what I mentioned, that I think it's quite general that the amount of online advertisement is increasing, and that's the case in Hungary as well.
So you see budgets going from TV to online. That's where it's going. Or
I would rather say that on linear, the same amount, we see the same amount of advertisement, while we have an increasement investment on the online advertisement. So at the moment, online doesn't have a harmful effect on the linear advertisement. So that's how I see it so far in the Hungarian market.
And in the Dutch market, Kai, what do you see there?
Yeah, I think it's quite the same as I see it as Peter is saying. We are sold out most of the time of the year, so digital and linear. You see a change of need from an advertiser perspective. So you see they want to have more insights, more targeting possibilities. So that's why we also talk about dynamic ad replacement, right? So that's replacing the linear ads for digital ones because it has some positive elements with it, and the advertiser still wants the mass reach.
So they do want a mass reach.
Yeah.
So you still think there's a market for a while to come for
Of
these
course.
standard linear, no frills ads. Just run it for everybody that watches this channel. But you will also have the replacement with digital. How can these two go together?
Yeah, I think they complete each other, right? So I think linear and digital complete each other, and and dynamic ad replacement is then the terminology, but I think there as digital and linear, it comes together, to say so. So we can still have the mass reach, but have the let's say the positive elements of digital ads with targeting, insights, that kind of things actually. So yeah, was that an answer on your question? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. So for both of our broadcasters say, okay, the combination is perfect. We'll just expand and have more coming in. Pascal, you see this, of course, from the technology, because you offer the technology. You see this across markets happening. Can you say something about the speed at which linear and digital are combined or replacing each other, or what do you see happening?
I mean, it's obviously a nascent, trend. So this is something that the industry will take a while to adopt massively. But I mean, it started obviously. The opportunity is for me at all levels of the ecosystem. So Kai and Peter talked about from the advertisers and broadcasters point of view. The complement of linear and digital, trying to reduce the waste basically of the typical linear ads that are being broadcast and not always targeted to the right audience. That's an opportunity. If you look at it from the broadcaster's angle, there's a chance to increase the spot revenues, because again you increase the selling price. Um, I also look at it. So you say, okay, at VO, indeed we're a tech vendor, but we are also a Orange company. Orange is a telco, so we have this DNA as well. So the service provider is also taking this as a big opportunity, because it has assets that will benefit to the ecosystem. So assets like the segments, like the data that is valuable. So of course we can discuss later, how do we treat the data, the privacy of the data,
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that.
we'll talk about that. But this is indeed an asset that has value, and the service provider is also seeing this as an opportunity to create a new revenue stream. So when there is this opportunity, you can anticipate that the initiative will start. I mean, that the market will develop. Huh? If you look at the whole ecosystem, to me, if I simplify, you have the buyers and the sellers, right? So you have two buyers, which are the end users, because in the end they're the one consuming the content. So whether it's free, or if they pay a subscription, they're still buyers, right? Because there's no such thing as a free lunch. If it's free, it's paid some other way.
Yeah.
And so you have the sellers, the broadcasters, and the advertisers. They want to sell more and better. So
Yeah. So it's a combination of demand and offer and demand
yeah,
finding each other. It's just
exactly.
that if you come from a world where the only option was to put an ad out, a commercial out to the whole country on a channel, and now there's a new option where you can have very dedicated audiences. You can really pick and choose who you want to serve it to, and this might turn out to be super efficient, and you don't need that whole market anymore. Then this is a buyer's market. This is no seller's market. This is a seller's market. Then the advertiser has the option to choose and just calibrate where can I get the most for the little bits of money. Whereas previously for the broadcaster there was only one model. So
Yeah,
you pay for a lot of people that you don't care for. It doesn't matter. The money is ours anyway. So going from one market to the other market will have some conflicts, and there will something will happen. Can you explain for now, how you sell those ads? Because it means that you have different measurements, you have different ways of selling ads, right? Is it CPMs, or how do you go from one? How do you combine it? Kai, can you tell a little bit? Because I think RTL is quite developed in that respect.
Yeah, but if you talk about dynamic ad replacement, that's still not really live. So we started a project, but and we of course have for linear model we have the GRP model. which is I think
Yeah.
familiar in every country. And for digital we have CPM.
Yeah.
So the big
So somewhere they will have to.
yeah, they have to merge somewhere, you know. So the big challenge and question mark is how are we going to develop a new currency for that? We don't know yet. So we have to take the time, and we are starting the project right now to investigate how the current GRP model is conflicting with the CPM, and what we have to do to adjust it for the market, for ourselves. So that's a pretty steep learning curve for us, I think.
Yeah, and for anybody anyway, right?
Yeah.
The same problem everywhere.
Yeah.
Peter, how in Hungary, how is that market developing? Because you have your AVOD platform, you're considering subscribing, so I guess it's not
Mhm.
it's not that easy. But what do the advertisers want? Are your advertisers really keen to move to these smaller, more dedicated, granular audiences, or is there still a lot of interest to stay in linear?
Unfortunately, me, as you know, being working on the digital part, unfortunately, I think we are not there yet, or the mindset of the companies are not there yet to really focus on the targeted advertisement. So, for example, what we are doing, we have some cookie data-based targeting, but for example, we are not using our own database. So we launched our AVOD platform last February, so February 2021, and we put an obligatory registration on the long forms in September. And since then, we reached the 800,000 registered users. But still, we are not really doing that much with that data, and I hope that we will be able to do so when there will be more GDPR restriction on the third-party data,
Of course, yeah.
and then we can really push first of all our sales house, to do the work to sell the advertisement for a higher price. And in this case, we will be able to monetize the cost what it will take to have a data management platform, etc. But when we are speaking about Hungary, unfortunately, it's not so general to have a targeted campaign.
So even if you have all the tech stack and all the options sorted out and you know what you want to sell, it's still a question of educating the advertisers of what is available and how they can use it, and that could actually
Yeah.
be really interesting to use it.
Yes, that's the case in Hungary.
Pascal, maybe move on to a next topic, which is for the viewers what this means. And this has an effect on the user interface, the way where they see ads, when they see ads, the kind of ads they suddenly can see that might be more personalized, which is not in all cases what you want. Personalized ads is also a problem. You see this from the point of view of the service provision. Can you tell a little bit what you do there to make it interesting for users?
Yeah, well, that's what I said earlier. I mean, the viewers, the users they're one of the buyers of this ecosystem. They are at the end of the chain, but they're the one consuming. So, a healthy industry, to me, needs to treat one of the buyers as and give them options. It's that's when you have options that the industry is alive. That of course nobody wants a monopoly where it's this way and the only way. So if you have options, whether you want to consume your content for free, you want to consume it for a small price, you want to consume it for a premium price, then that means that you can choose the amount of ads that you're willing to consume. um, the ones that you're willing to consume, do you want them to be targeted to your profile or not? So all this is a granularity of choice that you need to give to the users, and
So,
you need
so
to
this
have a
means, yeah, so this means the option is there that not the network, the broadcaster decides what, when, where, but actually the user can, through the interface, sort of indicate what they want. Or how does this
yeah.
work?
So this is basically the service provider that will implement the mechanism and the tools to let the users choose. So it's basically the monetization platform that will in the UI say this is a package for a certain price, and in that certain price you have this option of ads, targeted or not. And, you can skip through, or you can yeah, consume all the ads you want, and it's all free. Yeah, it's again, giving the choice, because you don't want to frustrate your end users and push too many ads. There's also the topic of ad loads, ad fatigue. You want to prevent that. So yeah, it's all about giving the choice to the users, and to me that will be the key to providing a healthy industry here. And it's
So your platform allows operators to offer that choice to users.
for
To
sure, for
yeah,
sure. And also the choice of the platform to consume the content, because I think you mentioned that earlier. It's all about massification. The ads industry, it's about volume. And so the more platform you support, and as a consumption screen, whether it's the small screen, the big screen, the game console, the set top box, whatever you name it, you need to have a platform that will support this all: IPTV, OTT, hybrid.
Yeah.
So it's about giving the choice and supporting all the screens. Sorry.
Can I comment on this
yeah,
one,
Kai,
Monique?
because you do this already a little bit with RTL, or not a little bit with Videoland and some of your.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. I
yeah.
think with Videoland we are pretty far. We have the basic tier as well, introduced last year, where people can have a subscription for 4.99 with ads in it. So it's also a model that brings, I think, the VOD platform closer to the whole country, maatschappij, sorry. And so I think that's also
Just to, because Videoland, very popular video on demand
yeah,
platform in the Netherlands, you can either pay a full subscription, no ads,
exactly.
half subscription, some ads. There's no ad supported model, right? Free, but lots of ads.
No, so what we are doing, we have the Videoland premium subscription. That's 8.99 or 10.99. It depends of how many users you want to have. Then we have the 4.99 as the basic tier, where you get the ads. And now we have RTL XL, which is the free tier for us. So people can just log in and see all the long form content but get the ads. And the thing that I want to comment on Pascal, his story just a minute ago, is that eventually we're looking for the customer lifetime value at the end, and that's the main important thing. So it's not always, that's at least what we're trying to do, and it's in progress with ad load, for instance, and also the choice of the customer how to consume the ads, only with pre-rolls or just sported ads, or mid-rolls or long ads, short ads, etc. But it's not about squeezing the lemon totally. You want to search for a certain balance where, and the customer is happy because I think consciously he chose for a model where subscriptions are, but it should not be in their face too much,
Mm.
because then you get ad blockers too much, and who's helped with that? Nobody.
Yeah.
So you
And
want,
if you look at the consumer, the viewer in this case, so they can go for the free, few ads, lots of ads model, of the
yeah.
subscription. Are there any other choices they can make? Can they also have a preference for a type of ads, for pre-roll, except middle ads? Or is there more than just so much money, so many ads?
Yeah, I think I just mentioned it, but indeed, so you want to give the customer the choice how to consume the ads. So that's
Yeah.
what you mean, to, right, Monique?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in progress at our side. So we are thinking about it, how to develop the UI for the customer, so it all also connects with the ad server platform, of course, because that's more difficult than you think it is. But to give it to the customer, I think we think our belief is that if you give the choice to the customer, they are much more eager. I don't know if that's the right
Yeah.
word, but much more eager to consume them,
Yeah.
and to make it more comfortable for them.
And is it also that you, and then maybe Peter, you can comment on that as well. If it's also, an example, there's a podcast I really like. I pay €5 a month to have the ad-free version. the moment I don't want to pay €5 for an app with 100 podcasts, but this one singular podcast I like so much that it feels like me giving them money because I like them so much. Do you also see a model where you don't say, okay, this is the VOD service, we have these three ranges, but you say, okay, we have this one series that you want to see without the commercials. That's the one. You pay for that one, and the rest is because there's the granularity also goes on the content level, right? Peter, I don't know if I know you just started, so it might be early days there, but what do you think?
No, but honestly, we are also considering like a T-Word model because as mentioned, for us, it's a bit hard to come up with a content proposal which can be competitive with the big players. So first, we are also considering this ad-free model, and we are just ordered the market research about how much the people would be willing to pay, etc. And upon that, we are considering that model when we would just ask for money for certain content. For example, whenever we have a show, a live show in the commercial breaks, we have some additional content on our online platform on TV to play. And last year it was again like an AVOD model. Everybody could see it, and it had a pre-roll on it. And for this year, we are considering to have a TVOD model for it. So only those could see those interviews when we have the commercial break on the TV who would pay. So honestly, we are considering this solution.
Yes, an interesting combination of using the online with the TV environment combined. If you, for all three of you, if you look at the innovations taking place, not just in the business model and the user interface, but also in what the advertisers can actually innovate with. What are the new models for advertisers that is make it more than just same ad, but now for a more targeted audience? What are the new options they have that are interesting at this moment or that are coming up? Pascal, you see them
Yeah,
all. You have to serve them all, right? Yeah.
if I can comment, and it,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, and it kind of follows up on what you said just before, when you said, can we offer this granularity of just saying this particular content you can consume it for free if you watch an ad, because you like it. It's actually one of the module of our solution. The ad enablement. So it's you can call it the inventory management, but this is really where you will define which ad will go to which content for which duration on which device, whether it's in the UI or as a pop-up banner or as an ad insertion. So this very granularity is really an opportunity because it's brand new. It's never been enabled before. So for the advertisers, it's really a way to focus their money on the right, on the right users, and to make the gap, the link then to the actual consumption of the purchase of whatever is being advertised. uh, we haven't discussed that, but the second screen, activation. You watch the ad on the big screen, and you actually buy what's being advertised on the second screen. That's also enabled thanks to digital advertisement. So that's also for the advertiser a big opportunity to see the
And that,
transformation
yeah,
automatically.
and that would not just be the big screen says go to that website, but it would actually be a connection, so you can follow
Yes.
the user and for sure
Yeah.
when what moment,
Yeah.
etc.
Also, opportunity is clickable ads. You say at this particular time in the content, I'm displaying that ad, and you can click the ad and buy
Yeah,
whatever is advertised.
it works for
Brand new
Instagram,
opportunity.
so it can
Yeah.
now start to work on TV as well. Yeah, all kinds of other. Yeah, and does this also mean that you can already see that a whole new range of advertisers can now join the game? Because of course, you know, if you have to do a commercial for the whole of a country, it's a lot of money. But if you can do a display thing for just 1,000 people that like
Yeah.
fly fishing, I mean, whatever, yeah, a
That's
whole new
that
range of advertisers can join this game, right?
that's the whole opportunity of digital, is bringing the local advertisers, or the geolocalized advertisers that will pick a certain segment of a population, and that's enabled thanks to segmentation. Yeah, just like we've all seen in the theaters for years, where you have your local shop doing advertisement because they knew that the audience will be local. So bring that to the TV.
Kai and Peter, have you developed any new types of ad formats, models for the people now coming in that can to join the game?
Yeah, I think we did, but maybe Peter want to go first.
Like to develop a new type of advertisement.
Yeah, it's not just commercials or display, I guess, but there's a whole new group of advertisers that can join this game because it's smaller and more dedicated. Just wondering if you have new ad models that maybe are not existing outside of Hungary that you developed for your clients.
Honestly, not yet. We have some discussions now, and let's see. The difficulty what we are facing that so far some of these solutions were too expensive for us, because what is working well for in the West European countries or markets. That's normal that those services are coming with the price, but these prices are not dedicated to our markets. So that's what we were facing so far, but we are having some discussions about additional.
And if you look at some of those service providers and you look at them and you think like, we need that, but it's too expensive, do you then decide to build it yourself, or do you say let's just wait and see till this market scales up and the prices come down and then we'll get there eventually?
Regarding the advertisements, we were not yet considering to develop our own solution. When it comes to targeted advertisement, we did that regarding the data management platform, because first we contacted the biggest players in the market, and we were facing the same issue, and that's when we had the idea to contact some developer companies and take a look how much it would cost to have our own solution. And honestly, in the long run, at the moment, we see that it would be a better option for us. Even at the beginning, we would need to invest, but the monthly fee would be way lower.
Yeah.
So I think when we will get there, hopefully within a few months, or hopefully in this year, I think we will go with that one to develop our own solution.
Brave decision. Kai, what kind of new ad models?
Yeah, I think I can mention two things here, because I already said we are quite sold out every time of the year.
Lucky you. Yes.
Yeah, but it's also we have to yield very properly. That's also a bit hard. But so we think about new ad formats additional to pre-rolls or mid-rolls, and I think the pause ad maybe it's not that new for people, but for us in the Netherlands it's quite new. We have introduced that on RTL XL and planning to do it on Videoland as well. So you click on pause, and after a few seconds, the advertisement appears, also with a GIF here as well. So that was we tested it, and it was really felt good by the market. So the advertisers were really enthusiastic about it, and yeah, I want to test.
What about the consumers? Did you get any feedback what they felt, because it's new for them as well?
That's a good question. I don't know actually, but no.
But the advertisers are very happy.
Yeah, you're right. But we saw, especially for sponsored programs, it was really good. So we see that also maybe it's on smaller scale, but having new ad innovation, ad formats, it works. And if it's in balance with the consumer, you don't squeeze it too much, you don't push them too much, and it helps the advertiser. I think that works on both sides. So that's one. And the second one is seeing all the privacy regulations we are facing, I think, in all of the EU. We brought our new contextual model on the market. And now I think we have actually a proper model which is really working and pays off already. So we
So
see,
explain a little bit about the contextual models. This is
yeah,
of course in response to not tracking people around with cookies
exactly. So
and
it's
scoring wherever they go, but focusing
it's
more on these people watch this kind of content, right?
yeah, exactly. So it's not a new model. We are using it for many years, but due privacy regulations, people are opting out, so you don't know anything about them. You don't have an idea. You don't know anything about them, basically. So still, we want to offer the advertiser a model, and also we want to, of course, we want to sell ads. So what we did is we cloned actually the viewing behavior of people that were logged in, and that it's more advanced than this what I'm mentioning right now. But that's the basics, actually. And now we are using that for all people that are opting out, and you see the amount of users that are opting out. It's increasing.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially with the new regulations that are coming at the end of the year, we could expect some new regulations concerning the TCF framework there, and the whole consent wall. So having something in place for our own business model, but also which is fitting the user. Don't give them an ad they don't want to have, or which doesn't fit. Is helping us, and we see that the model is paying off, actually.
And Peter, I guess that's also something what you have in mind with having your own database to, at least not follow people around, but have your own set of data that you can work with.
Yeah, that's the idea behind.
Yeah.
Of course, let's see if it will be big enough to deliver all the campaigns. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that we will need to create lookalikes, because we won't have enough users for all the profiles the advertisers advertisers needs. But yeah, that's the idea behind why we are building up our own database.
Yeah, I guess it's a very good defense also, not just in view of regulation, but also in view of international competition, storing up all kinds of data. So at least to have more granular data, more interesting data, privacy protected, that will be a unique selling point for a lot of the European broadcasters, probably. Pascal, you work, of course, for a variety of clients in also outside the EU with different kinds of regulations. Do you see this contextual approach, storing the data anonymously, not targeting the individual in a way that for many years, and what we know from online, we thought we could do before? Do you also see that reflected in
Sure.
your clients' decisions at the moment?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so closer to us, in France, we have all these the same regulations and GDPR and all the, of course, that we comply with all that, and surprisingly, I think the opt-in percentage that we observed is pretty high. I forgot the number, but it's close to 50-60%.
Is
But
it
that
declining or is it sort of staying stable? Because in some markets it's really
it I concur with Kai. It might be declining because of new regulations coming in, but it started pretty high, and it comes with the fact that you explain, what's behind. People try it and they say, okay, it's not too I'm not too disturbed. It doesn't change my consumption habit, and the ads are better, are targeted. So as long as you share information and you give choice, I'm coming back to that again, it's more accepted. Then coming back to privacy, and the way we've been used to consume digital today. I mean, look at all of us. We all use Google, we all use Gmail, we all know what's happening with the data. It's all about the trade-off that you're willing to make. It's a service against another. It's compensation. What compensation do I give in lieu of the data that I'm willing to share? So, and we come back to the different business models. Okay, it's my privacy. I'm willing to give you some of it. Of course, all the data is anonymized and all that, but it's my consumption habit that I'm willing to share through my service provider, but it gives me something in return. So it's the compensation that we're willing to make.
That does sort of suggest that consumers are able to make well-founded decisions in that respect. Whereas I think we know from online, very few people know that if you go to a website, your data is immediately auctioned off to 150 other sites and other organizations, and they've been tracking me for 20 years now without me. So the one-off decision doesn't compare to the overall result of this. So I'm happy
Right.
to have the European Commission decision there. But okay, I'm not an advertiser or a broadcaster. We have a few minutes left. If anybody in the audience wants to ask a question, now's the time. Okay. We talked about quite a few of the topics we wanted to talk about. We probably also skipped a few. So if there's something you really want to share about what's happening right now, please do. I'm really interested to hear from all three of you. What are the big decisions you are looking at right now, and how do you see your market in the next 5 years? I mean, not 20 years, but 5 years, because this is what you are working on now. You can already feel what is coming right now. Peter, what about for you? What are you working on right now? I know your big decisions are going from the advertising VOD to the subscription, and finding your core market there. But what are the big decisions you need to make towards your audience, your content, your advertisers, the new services? What are you working on that? And how do you see it developing in the next 5 years?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
So just pick the thing you want to answer.
Okay. I think for me personally, yeah, this Westwood model will give quite a big headache, because honestly, I don't really see at the moment how I will come up with such a proposal, especially content wisely, because content is extremely expensive. So that will be my biggest project for the upcoming months, and I think we will try to have some external consultancy on that. So that will be definitely a huge project. But it's a must, because of course our advertisement revenue is continuously increasing. But on the distribution part, what we just started, what I mentioned you, that we are developing TV apps for the distributors, and luckily they are quite interested in that, to have the TV to play in their set-top boxes. But again, even with that one, we will reach a plateau of revenue. So in order to further increase the income, we will definitely need to come up with an SWOT model. So that will be my biggest project, and I hope that we can be the first one on the market who will really provide targeted advertisement on our online platform using our own database. So that's what I'm hoping for the next 1 or 2 years.
Thank you. And Kai, what about for you?
I think the biggest elephant in the room is privacy, and at the same time building a proper relationship with the advertiser and the consumer. Because if privacy becomes a real issue, worst case, then we have to rethink how we are gonna cooperate with our DSPs, for instance, and that's the basic of our business model, of course. So that's, if I have headaches, then privacy is one, but also a good opportunity to have a new relationship with the consumer, because I'm working for the publisher RTL, of course. So we have the relationship with the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's surprising. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm one of those that I ask Google what they know of me and Facebook, and it's surprising. I mean, these days it's easier to get that information, but it's surprising how few media companies will actively go to their viewers and say, "Hey, Monique, we appreciate you, and this is what we know about you. Is it still correct, or should we change something?" This rarely happens, and it feels so natural. Maybe that will be one of the shining sides.
Yeah. So there's a big opportunity to get a new relationship with them, and do it a proper way for all parties. So we see also a lot of opportunities. So it's also a fun project to work on, and I think in 5 years, I think we have managed to see the opportunities of dynamic ad replacement, and probably will execute it properly. And we do it with Vodafone Ziggo as our main partner for the setup box in Holland. So yeah, that's
But you also have a
quite
new
exciting.
relation with all your
Yeah.
views. That's interesting, right? All right, Pascal,
Exactly.
last word is
Yeah.
for you. Where does it go?
Yeah, I'll just concur with what being said. Of course, it's the big nut to crack will be the privacy and building the trust, of the consumers. Um, I think the service provider lies in the middle as a trusted third party. As a matter of fact, that it's been acting this way for years for different services that have been provided for like voice and the internet and TV and now data. What are you going to do with my data? Should I trust you? So it's all about building this relationship of trust and giving the choice to the end users of how they want to consume the content based on the data that they're willing to share.
With the
And for
broadcasters
the rest,
and
it's all
advertisers, yes.
about technicals and building the right business model between the advertisers and the broadcasters. We'll find a way. So, but yeah, I agree that the privacy and building the trust is what will make this whole start.
Makes it worthwhile as well.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing all your ideas. Keep building. Let's have a very vibrant European content market supported by ads and subscriptions and by us all. And thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
everybody.
welcome.
Priscilla, last word. The really
Thank
last
you.
word is for you.
Thank you very much, Monique, Kai, Peter, and Pascal for this enlightening session. So we have
Thank
arrived
you.
at the end of the second edition of Nextv AD Europe. On behalf of DataXis, I would like to thank all our sponsors, speakers, moderators, and attendees for this wonderful conference. Check out our corporate website on www.dataxis.com for our upcoming event. Have a nice afternoon, and thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.